Okay, so we are talking about this strategy that some people are doing to help pinpoint their fertile window to make sure that they're having sex at the right time to get pregnant. Because obviously, you need to have sex at the right time to get pregnant, otherwise, it's not happening. But this strategy that I'm busting right now is actually making it harder for you to get pregnant and can cause you to miss your fertile window. So we need to stop doing it. So if you are someone who is using OPKs, right, like the LA strips, ovulation predictor kits, you're maybe having sex every other day, like starting around, maybe even starting right after you get your period, but starting around like cycle day 8. And excuse me, and then you're having sex every single day after you get a positive LH test. We need to stop doing that, and you need to do what's actually more productive, because number one, that sounds exhausting, right? Especially if you're someone who's trying for like your second or third baby, trying to like peeing on these LH trips every single day, fitting in having sex every single day. Like, I'm sorry. I just like, you have a job, you possibly have a child already, you have a life, like every day for 2 weeks, that is exhausting. Like, it truly sounds exhausting. I'm currently a toddler mom, so maybe if you are like trying for your first, maybe it doesn't sound as exhausting, maybe it's exciting, you're newlyweds, but like that is just a lot. Okay, so that sounds exhausting. Number two, it's not accurately measuring your fertile window, because you're only fertile 5 to 6 days each month, and your body tells you with specific signs when those fertile days are actually coming. No OPKs every day, no sex every day for 2 weeks required. Okay. And number three, it's actually negatively impacting your fertility. So you're trying to do something to support your fertility, to support your chance of getting pregnant, but it's backfiring, because I'm just going to assume you feel a little bit stressed out when you are constantly peeing on these LH strips and constantly trying to find a time to make sure you have sex. Maybe your husband travels for work. Maybe you have opposite schedules. Maybe it's just hard to fit it in every day. Like, the stress from you doing that is dysregulating as fuck to your nervous system, which directly negatively impacts your fertility. Your nervous system is tightly connected to your fertility. Okay. It's one of the systems in your body that directly impacts every single hormone in your body, and of course your fertility, because your hormones are responders. They're just responding to certain systems in your body. And your nervous system is one of those systems, which is why we work on it in the Mind Your Hormones method. But the more physical, mental, and emotional stress you have, the more your body produces one of our stress hormones, cortisol. Okay. And our body doesn't just have like a never ending amount of cortisol just on deck, ready to be used when we're getting stressed the fuck out from the LH strips, the tracking, the, legs up the wall, trying the Mucinex theory, having sex every day, the fertility teas, the fertility lubes, all this other crap that you're doing on top of your job, your relationship, your life. Like, just being a human, like all of these things. So the high cortisol from all of that is so your body doesn't just have like an endless amount of cortisol when you need it to be produced to handle all of this stress, or to just because you are stressed out, I should say. So it uses progesterone, which is one of your sex hormones needed to get and stay pregnant, to produce more cortisol. So the higher your cortisol, the lower your progesterone. And the low progesterone means like literally low progesterone equals PMS, number one. So any PMS symptoms, if you're having any PMS, like mood swings or irritability or spotting before your period, boob soreness, cramps, like any of those like classic PMS symptoms, you have low progesterone, right? Low progesterone equals PMS, and it also equals harder to get and stay pregnant. So you stressing out about these daily OPKs and having sex 24/7 is actually making it harder for your body to feel safe to get pregnant, because our bodies need to feel safe to get pregnant, because our reproductive system is not vital to our survival. So if our bodies don't feel safe, if we're stressed the fuck out, your body is going to delay ovulation and or completely turn it off, because it's like, dude, you are not in a space to like carry life and birth this life and take care of this life, because it seems like you're stressed the fuck out and this is not a good time. Okay. So your body is going to protect you by turning off your ovulation or delaying your ovulation, because it doesn't think it's a safe time for you to actually have a baby and go through that energy intensive process when it's not, our reproductive system is not life threatening, right? Like, we don't need it to survive. So your body's gonna like be like, okay, I'm not putting my energy towards there because we don't need that right now. So you stressing out about this is gonna make it harder for your body to feel safe to get pregnant. for your hormones to just be in balance, because you're going to have this cortisol issue. You're going to have this low progesterone because of it, on top of everything else, because everything else is connected. And ultimately, it's going to make it harder for you to get what you want, which is a healthy pregnancy. So I want you to ditch that strategy if you're doing that right now. Like, please stop peeing on LH strips every single day. Please stop thinking you need to have sex every single day. Like, that is so ridiculous. And you literally can't. Okay, so let's just start with these three things that I want you to do instead. Okay, so number one, have sex when you actually see cervical mucus, like ideally the raw egg white, stretchy, wet cervical mucus that you notice. Like, if you wipe, it's slippery. If it gets on the toilet paper, you could pick it up, it's stretchy. You might see it in your underwear. Like, that is when I want you to prioritize having sex, because you literally can't get pregnant unless the cervical mucus is there. So these days that you're having sex every single day and you don't even have any cervical mucus, not a waste of time. Like, I'm not saying sex is a waste of time, but if like you're forcing yourself to do it just because you're trying to have sex at the right time and you don't even have cervical mucus, it's literally impossible to get pregnant without cervical mucus. Your sperm needs cervical mucus to stay alive. It creates the perfect pH environment for sperm to stay alive. Without cervical mucus, sperm dies immediately. So you need that cervical mucus for sperm to stay alive. You also need it because that's where the sperm gets into, and it travels through, like, your body into to the egg. That's how the sperm gets to the egg, in your cervical mucus. So no cervical mucus means you cannot get pregnant. So you're having sex all these days when you don't even want to be and you don't even have cervical mucus. Yeah, it's not happening. Okay. And the reason why you even have this cervical mucus, this is one of the signs I was talking about in the beginning, that your body's going to give you physical signs when you are approaching ovulation and when you are approaching your fertile window, because your body's really freaking smart and it knows, okay, we're approaching ovulation. Estrogen is increasing in your body. Estrogen is what increases your cervical mucus. Cervical mucus is what you need to get pregnant. So we are on our way to ovulation. Now, it does not confirm ovulation though. So just because you're seeing cervical mucus doesn't mean that you're actually ovulating, but it is letting you know that you are likely approaching ovulation and you're fertile. Because like I said at the beginning, you're only fertile for 5 to 6 days out of the month. And the reason why is because sperm could stay alive in your cervical mucus for up to 5 days. So say you see the cervical mucus on like a Monday, you have sex on a Monday, you ovulate on Friday, you could still get pregnant. So when you see that cervical mucus, if you want to have sex every day you see the cervical mucus, go for it. Or you could just do every other day when you see the cervical mucus. You're likely not going to see the cervical mucus, like this raw, stretchy egg white, for more than a week max. Like, it's likely going to be like, you're going to see this. Well, I'll put another episode below because I won't get into that now, of the like changes you'll see in your cervical mucus and the ideal cervical mucus pattern that you'll experience. So you know the difference between like your peak cervical mucus, like when you're closest to ovulation, versus like your non-peak cervical mucus. Technically, any cervical mucus you can get pregnant, but we're really looking for that raw egg white consistency one. And if you're someone who's like, okay, Corinne, I don't see any cervical mucus, like I'm not seeing any of that, like I don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to link a different episode below of how to naturally increase your cervical mucus production, because I have a whole other podcast episode on that. So if you are someone who's not seeing that cervical mucus, definitely go listen to that episode. Okay. Number two is tracking your basal body temperature. So like I said, cervical mucus is not confirming ovulation. It is letting you know that you're approaching ovulation, but we need to actually confirm that we are ovulating. LH strips do not confirm ovulation. Getting a period is not a sign that you're actually ovulating. You could bleed without ovulating. So we need to confirm ovulation with tracking your basal body temperature. Okay. That has to be something you are actually putting your attention towards, instead of peeing on LH strips every day and having sex every day. Please make sure you're tracking your basal body temperature so that we know that you're actually ovulating, and so you could confirm it and start seeing your pattern. So you're aware of like, okay, generally I will have X amount of days of cervical mucus before I ovulate. So you know, like, your fertile window. That's the whole point of this. Okay. So episode, I think it's 467. I think it's 467. We'll link it below, of where I teach you exactly how to track your basal body temperature and your cervical mucus so that you can easily be able to do that. Easily do it. Okay. This is easy. It's not complicated. Okay. So I will put that episode below too, in case you don't know how to track BBT yet. My favorite tracker is Temp Drop. You can always use code AFCORINNE, AFCORINNE, for 15% off. It's my favorite. We'll link that below too. I talk about that in that episode as well. So that's the other thing I want you to focus on. And the third thing is actually optimizing your fertility and having sex having sex. If you're focusing just on having sex at the right time, that's obviously not the only thing required for you to get pregnant. So we need to really be putting our focus on making sure we're having strong ovulation, optimal egg quality, balanced hormones, optimal overall health, so that healthy pregnancy is just a natural byproduct. So often people will get distracted with fertility teas, fertility lubes, legs up the wall, wild yam cream, Vitex, CoQ10, LH strips, having sex every day, like all these things. and they are not prioritizing blood sugar balanced meals, regulating their nervous system, reducing inflammation, supporting their gut and their liver, and not with just a liver detox. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. We need to be supporting the systems in your body that actually affect all of your hormones and therefore your fertility as a byproduct. That's where our focus needs to be, not on these things that are not working and that do not matter, like the Mucinex theory, like progesterone cream. The shit is not working. It's not getting down to the root cause of the problem. So we need to shift our focus off of these things that are just dysregulating and throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks, because it's not sticking. If it was sticking, it would have happened already. You wouldn't be listening to this episode, okay? So focusing on the systems in your body that actually affect all of your hormones is what you need to be prioritizing if you want to see a change in your fertility, period. Your fertility will not change until your blood sugar, your nervous system, your gut, your liver, your inflammation levels, and your nutrient density are on point, period. It will not happen, and it will not happen for a sustainable period of time. So obviously that I teach you all that in the Mind Your Hormones method, but to get you started, you can check out my free Trying to Conceive Masterclass that teaches you the root causes of all fertility issues, which are those systems in your body being dysregulated, but we'll go into it in there. The common mistakes I see most people who are trying to conceive make, and then 5 things you can do ASAP that's going to support your fertility way more than doing all these things that you might be doing right now that's not actually helping you. Like, we don't have endless amount of time every day, and I don't want you wasting your time or money trying these things that you're just seeing another TikTok on, or another person trying it, or because like you're doing because you think it's going to work, right? Like, you'll do whatever it takes. Like, you will do whatever it takes. It's not a lack of effort for you. It's just a lack of putting that effort into the areas that actually matter and that are going to make a difference for you. You deserve to know what's going to be the most supportive for you, and you deserve to put your precious time, energy, capacity, money into things that actually matter. So stop wasting it on all this bullshit and all these like fast track ways to boost your fertility. That's not the vibe, and that shit isn't working. You have to get down to the root cause of the issue. Okay. So I'll put the link for the free masterclass in the show notes. The episodes I talked about naturally increasing your cervical mucus, we'll put in there, and also about tracking your basal temperature and your cervical mucus, we'll put in there as well. And then of course the link to the Mind Your Hormones method. You can always use code podcast for 10% off. That will be in the show notes as well. But this is just your PSA. Like, throw the throw the OPKs out and start tracking that cervical mucus. Let's go. It's going to be so much more supportive for you. I love you. I hope this episode helped you. I hope this gave you permission to stop stressing yourself out about this. Then you don't need to do it. And we could just be focusing on way more supportive things. So share this with a friend who might be trying to conceive. Let me know how this landed for you. I'm so grateful for you as always. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for being here. If you loved this episode and learned something valuable, please share it with a friend who you think would also love it, or post it on social media and tag me so I could personally say thank you for helping me spread this important message. I am beyond grateful to be here with you. So until next time, stay intentional, stay consistent, and always mind your hormones.